What if you discovered today that you were already a Canadian citizen, or could become one because of a parent, grandparent, or family connection you never thought mattered? That is exactly what is happening right now. Canada's citizenship rules changed in late 2025, and thousands of people are now benefiting from those changes. And according to government data, one country stands out above all others: the United States.
Some never realized they qualified. Others were previously excluded under Canada's old citizenship rules. And now, many people are discovering that a Canadian parent, grandparent, or even deeper family connection could open the door to Canadian citizenship. So, what changed? Why is the United States leading this surge? And could this affect your family too? Let's break it down. Why this story matters right now.
For decades, Canadian citizenship rules were strict when it came to passing citizenship to children born outside Canada. Many families believed their Canadian connection ended after just one generation abroad, but that assumption is now being challenged. With recent legal and policy changes, thousands of people who were previously excluded are now gaining access to Canadian citizenship. Some are being recognized automatically, others are discovering they can now apply for official proof of citizenship for the first time. And interest in these new rules is growing quickly.
To understand what changed, we need to look at the old system. Canada used to follow what is called the first-generation limit. In simple terms, citizenship could usually only be passed down to the first generation born outside Canada. Here's a simple example. A Canadian citizen is born in Canada. They move abroad and have a child. That child can usually still get Canadian citizenship. But if that child grows up abroad and has children outside Canada, the next generation often could not inherit citizenship, so the chain stopped very quickly. Over time, many families felt this rule was unfair, especially for Canadians living abroad who still had strong ties to the country.
In December 2023, the Ontario Superior Court of Justice ruled that parts of this rule were unconstitutional. The federal government chose not to appeal the decision. Officials acknowledged that the law had created unfair outcomes for Canadian families living outside the country. That decision pushed Canada toward a major legal reform, and that reform became Bill C-3. What changed with Bill C-3?
Bill C-3 was introduced in 2025 and officially came into effect on December 15, 2025. Its purpose was simple: to expand citizenship by descent while still ensuring a meaningful connection to Canada. Once the law came into force, everything shifted quickly. Some people automatically became Canadian citizens. Others gained the ability to apply for proof of citizenship under the new rules. And many families who were previously excluded suddenly found themselves eligible again. But the law also introduced new conditions to keep the system balanced. Who benefits from the new rules?
The updated law affects several important groups. First, people who automatically became Canadian citizens under the new rules can now apply for official proof of citizenship. Second, children adopted abroad before December 15, 2025, by Canadian parents who were also born or adopted outside Canada may now qualify for Canadian citizenship. Third, people born or adopted abroad who were previously excluded under the old system may now be eligible depending on their family history. And finally, for those who automatically became citizens but do not wish to keep Canadian citizenship, Canada has introduced a simplified renunciation process. In short, the law reaches more people than many expected.
But the real story emerges when we look at the first government figures released after the new law took effect. New government data from December 15, 2025 to March 31, 2026 reveals a noticeable pattern in the people receiving citizenship under the new rules. The United States is the leading country of origin, with the highest number of approvals under Bill C-3. The picture becomes even clearer when all categories are compared together. Over the same period, IRCC approved citizenship certificates for 13,310 people who qualified under the previous first-generation rules, including 6,135 born in the United States, 945 born in Mexico, and 720 born in the United Kingdom. This highlights a clear and consistent trend. Even before Bill C-3, people born in the United States made up the largest group receiving Canadian citizenship by descent. The introduction of Bill C-3 has not changed that pattern. If anything, it has made it even more noticeable. The United States continues to account for the highest number of approvals under Canada's citizenship by descent provisions. That raises an important question: why are so many Americans seeking Canadian citizenship?
The answer comes down to history. Canada and the United States share one of the closest relationships in the world. For generations, people have moved freely across the border for work, education, marriage, military service, and opportunity. Because of this, millions of Americans have Canadian ancestry. Some have Canadian parents, others have Canadian grandparents, and some are discovering even deeper family connections to Canada that they never fully explored. Now, with the new law in place, many are realizing something surprising. They may already qualify for Canadian citizenship. For some, it is about reconnecting with family history. For others, it is about future opportunities for themselves and their children.
The important catch: the substantial connection rule. Before assuming citizenship can pass freely through generations, there is an important requirement to understand. Canada introduced what is called a substantial connection rule. This applies to children born or adopted abroad on or after December 15, 2025, when the Canadian parent was also born outside Canada. In these cases, the Canadian parent must show a real connection to Canada. Specifically, they must have spent at least 1,095 days, 3 years, physically living in Canada before the child's birth or adoption. This ensures that future generations still maintain a meaningful connection to the country. So while the rules are more flexible than before, they are not unlimited.
Another group affected by these changes is the so-called lost Canadians, people who lost or never received Canadian citizenship because of outdated rules and older laws. Canada has already corrected many of these cases through earlier reforms, but some families were still left out. Bill C-3 helps close many of those remaining gaps, giving long overdue recognition to people who have been waiting for years to be acknowledged as Canadian. But does gaining Canadian citizenship automatically mean people will move to Canada?
Not necessarily. Citizenship and relocation are two very different things. Many people receiving or applying for citizenship under these new rules have no immediate plans to move. Instead, citizenship gives them flexibility. It can open doors for future study, work opportunities, or long-term residency options in Canada. For many families, it is simply about keeping options open for the next generation. Could this apply to you?
This is the question many viewers are asking right now. If you have a Canadian parent, grandparent, or family connection, it may be worth looking into your eligibility, but every case is different. Eligibility depends on family history, citizenship status, dates, adoption records, and official documentation. The most reliable source is Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. If you think you may qualify, gathering family records could be the first step.
Canada's new citizenship law is already reshaping thousands of lives. People who were previously excluded are now becoming Canadian citizens. Others are discovering family connections they never knew could matter. And with the United States leading in approvals, interest in Canada's expanded citizenship rules continues to grow rapidly. For some, this is about opportunity. For others, it is about identity and belonging. And for many, it is about reconnecting with a country they were always linked to, but never officially part of. What's your view on this? Should citizenship be passed down through multiple generations born abroad? Or should countries require stronger ties before granting citizenship? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the related video on your screen for more fascinating content. Explore our channel for even more exciting videos. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to GlobeGazette for more incredible stories. Your support means everything to us. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.